You had a busy day today. Walk us through finding out that you were the starter and just going into practice. If you had a conversation with Sam.
Yeah. Obviously, Sam and I knew this day was going to eventually come, but we weren't counting down the days. We didn't know when it was going to happen or anything like that. So I just this morning was made aware that I was going to be starting, and saw Sam shortly after. He made it very clear that anything I needed in support or in terms of that aspect, he was going to be there, and that just shows what kind of team guy he is. Honestly, just an unfortunate circumstance that we're both here in the same year fighting for a job, but that's the kind of guy he is. He said whatever you need in support, he's just trying to win games, and that's the mentality we've had the whole time. So I truly, truly appreciate that, and he's a great guy.
How'd that conversation go with Matt Rule?
With Coach Rule? Just said that, obviously he thought I won the job, and just be able to move forward. It's about winning, and still just how the whole situation was that he respected the way Sam and I handled it, and I think that speaks volumes obviously again to Sam, and just how we tried to conduct it all about winning and about the team. That's the first and foremost. We were we were competing, but it was always about the team and trying to win. So Coach Rule made sure to continue to emphasize that, and just going forward, that's always going to be the emphasis.
Baker, are there things that you've sort of held back from a personality standpoint, a leadership standpoint, because you weren't the guy yet, that now you might feel more comfortable kind of putting out there?
Yes and no. Like, off the field, was still having fun with the guys, messing with people. But when it came to on the field, at Wofford, I kind of mentioned it, had to learn to do my job first and foremost, learn that offense. And obviously, there's still room to grow, but continue to do that before can really go out there and enjoy it. And, when things aren't moving 1,000 miles an hour, it's a lot more fun. So we're just trying to handle, the hard part of getting everything down first before letting, the personality and stuff come out. But, the passion is going to come out regardless on the field, just because we're competing. And I love playing this game of football. I truly enjoy it. And so that side of me is always going to come out.
Matt credited you with the difficult task of trying to learn the offense and getting here right after July 4th. I mean, what was that experience like for you, and what are you expecting from yourself the next 3 weeks as you go into week 1 as a starter?
Yeah, there was a lot of cramming. It's a very front-loaded install, this offense, so the first few days in camp were pretty difficult for me. But there's always room for improvement, and I think that's the aspect of this offense is there's always little tips and pointers and things. Just with every play, there should be some learning point, and to be able to go from there. And for me, I'm just looking to continue to improve and be more comfortable, within these checks that Coach McAdoo has made available, and giving us the freedom to get us in the best position possible to have success as an offense. And so continuing to be more comfortable in that and just over communicate with the guys so everybody's on the same page.
Baker, Matt said that.
Go ahead, Alex.
Matt said that the beauty of this between you and Sam is that you guys became friends throughout this process. How did that relationship materialize, and why didn't it get contentious?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Sam and I knew each other just from pre-draft days, but hadn't really stayed in touch until the trade went down. It's just about two guys that love football and want to help this team out. And it's just, like I said, it speaks volumes of who Sam is as a man and his character and wanting to win. Obviously, we both wanted to play. There's no way around that. We're not going to sugarcoat it, but that's just who he is, and that's who I was going to be regardless. We're going to support. We're going to try and win. We were both brought here to try and win ball games and help people out. So, I think I rambled on that question a little bit. But, yeah.
Baker, how is the team that has won 5 games each of the last 2 seasons, hasn't been to playoffs in 4 years? I mean, how do you feel about your chances now heading into the season with you as starting quarterback, and do you feel like this team has potential to make it to the playoffs?
We're not going to put any expectations or things like that looking in the future. We're going to try and handle it 1 week at a time. Speaking from my own experience, I've stepped into situations where they've won 1 game in 2 seasons prior to that, so I'm not really worried about what's happened previously. I always try and focus in the moment and try and get the best out of the guys around me and try and push people to be their best, because it's never about the last play. The most important one's always the next one. That goes for the same way you think about records in years prior.
And how do you look at this situation in terms of, do you look at yourself as a long-term potential solution for this team at quarterback, or do you look at this as I want to play out this year and make a big payday in free agency?
those things will happen when they're supposed to. I'm not worried about that. I don't play this game for money. Yes, it is my job, but I love it. I'm extremely blessed and spoiled to be able to do this as my career for the moment, and I try to enjoy that. Right now I'm on a one-year deal, and whatever happens is going to happen, but I'm focused on being the best version of Baker Mayfield as a Carolina Panther right now, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Baker, you've been the underdog before. How did that prior experience help you coming into this situation? And did you at any point feel like you were the underdog coming into camp kind of, I guess, a little bit later than the other guys?
Yeah, I think that mindset, that mentality as an underdog is something that's pretty similar to everybody in the league. You've always had doubters or people, naysayers or whatever you want to say. So I can't say I'm the only one that has had that mentality. That's what makes some of these guys that are extremely driven and motivated who they are. But yeah, it's relating to that same mindset of facing a challenge in front of you and handling adversity. So it comes from experience of having to tackle challenges, but no situation is extremely similar to the other.
Baker, now that we know for sure you are going to start week 1, what is your sort of sense of playing the Browns in your very first game here?
Right now I'm just trying to get this schedule down. We're doing kind of a mock game week leading up to this Buffalo Bills game, and when that time comes, 3 weeks from now, we're going to handle prepping for Cleveland. Obviously, there's a lot of attachment there. I'm not going to, like I told you guys at Wofford, I'm not going to sit here and be a robot and say that it doesn't mean anything. It will, but right now all that matters is me and continuing to improve until this regular season starts.
Sam went through that last year, played the Jets his first game after that. Have y'all talked about that and what that's like for you coming back? Obviously he's a little more subdued about those type things. We expect the fiery they feel when you get ready for that game. What are we going to expect?
Like I said, I'm not going to premeditate anything. Once I step inside the white lines, I'm a competitor. That's just who I am, and that's just how I'm going to handle things.
Baker, who was your first text or call to today after you got the news?
My wife, Emily. She's actually packing up her house in Cleveland right now, so I'm in the doghouse right now for not helping her, so God bless her.
And her reaction, and then who'd you text second?
Obviously, she was extremely happy for me, but I think the message was the same. This is another step forward. We're not going to be satisfied with what we're doing. We're still going to try and win ball games. That's why we came here, to help improve this team, this franchise, and move forward.
Steve Smith said on the air the other night that for this team to take that next step and get better, they need you to be the starting quarterback. What do you take from that?
I know he's a guy that obviously has a ton of history here, but that's one of those things that we're going to handle things within the building, and whatever's best, we're going to do that. Quite frankly, that's all that matters.
Baker, it's been a whirlwind for you since you got here, I imagine. You kind of teased the answer with where Emily is. Have you and your wife had any time to enjoy Charlotte and get to know the area, do anything, or has it been 0 dark 30 for you?
I haven't spent much time here, but each night we have off, there's great food here in Charlotte, I will say that. So we're trying to explore a little bit. Have to get my Tex-Mex fix every once in a while, so trying different places out. But no, it's a great town, lively. We're truly enjoying it, and like I said, at training camp, we've been embraced with open arms, and we're very thankful for that.
And now that you've been named the starter, two-part, is it a relief? And second, do you feel like things are starting to slow down a little bit, as much as they can in the NFL?
I think things are slowing down for me in the transition phase of okay, this is where we're going to be living. This is the offense, getting settled in with that. Things not being 1,000 miles an hour, like I said. But no, there's no comfortability. As soon as we get complacent, we'd be handling it the wrong way. So that's just not how I'm going to do it.
That practice today, I know Matt threw a lot at you guys. How would you evaluate your first day as the starter?
Yeah, a lot of different situational stuff that he threw at us. And also we were trying to get some extra conditioning in, just doing longer sets of plays. There's good and bad, like every day in practice. So we're going to go back and watch the film and try to improve. So there's always room for improvement. And haven't watched it yet, so I'm not going to completely criticize it yet.
The importance of chemistry, Matt said, not just with your receivers, but even the centers. How critical is that? We saw the ball on the ground a couple times today.
Yeah, unfortunate. Those are the little errors we try and iron out to where when the real ball starts, none of that happens. So just about communication, making sure we get those mistakes fixed and moving forward. Obviously, whenever there's a drop or a ball on the ground, everybody knows, hey, we're not supposed to do that. But it's looking at it critically. Why did it happen? Why does it continue to happen if that's the case? And moving forward.
Now that you've officially been named a guy, does your edge change? Does your chip change, or is it still what it's always been?
No, it's back. To be honest with you, I feel extremely healthy. So I'm ready to go. I'm loving football again, and a fresh start is great for everyone every once in a while, and just going to take this opportunity and not take it for granted. Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Thank you.